probably, you know, I look at the first few days of this administration, and I love to tell people to watch this president work sitting behind that resolute desk in the Oval Office. You see a president who's in the promise-keeping business. And in my view, chief among those promises was his commitment to nominate someone to the Supreme Court who will be faithful to the Constitution, interpret the law as written, but he also said he wanted someone who was exceptionally qualified. And Judge Neil Gorsuch, with his academic background, with 10 years on the court, as someone who was unanimously confirmed by the United States Senate 10 years ago to the Court of Appeals in the 10th Circuit, I think represents that promise kept to the American people. And we remain very confident that despite some of the posturing that we see in the Senate today, that Judge Gorsuch is going to be well received by members of the Senate. And I'll promise you, one way or the other, he's going to get an up or down vote on the floor of the Senate.
Whether it takes the nuclear option or not. President Trump also promised a pro-life justice. Judge Gorsuch has never ruled directly on Roe v. Wade. Are you confident that he would vote to overturn Roe v. Wade on the court?
You know, as someone who, like the president, cherishes the sanctity of life, that's an important issue to me, as it is for millions of Americans. But in this deliberation, and I was honored to be a part of the process.
You spoke with the judge, right?
I did, and the president asked me to be a part of a small group that interviewed all the finalists for this decision. But what the president directed us to look for was someone who would be faithful to the Constitution, who would simply apply the law as written, who would have the character, the temperament, and the courage that the American people want to see.
Did you ask him directly about Roe v. Wade?
I did not. And you know, what the president charged us to do was to find someone who had the background, the experience, the unimpeachable credentials, the character, but also just to be faithful to the Constitution as written. We're in this hallowed hall where the Congress met in 1790. We're right next door to Independence Hall where the Constitution was written. That and the framework of this government have created the greatest quality of life in the history of mankind. And I'm confident that in Judge Neil Gorsuch, we'll have someone on the court who'll keep faith with the Constitution.